And this is my dear friend, Freddie. Freddie was with us yesterday as well. He works high up in the military here in Norway. He does some of the biggest project they're doing where they're buying things. So he came to me, and the thing Freddie wanted to do was he had a job in the military, and he wanted to go out and do consulting as well and actually help tech companies with military strategy. And he came to me and he said, Chris, so what's your best advice on how to start my consulting business? And I said, Freddie, let's look on your LinkedIn profile first. And he showed this, and I looked at it, and I looked at him, and I looked back at it. And the first thing I said, Freddie, I got it. I have to be able to use this in my courses and workshop because this is too good to be true, Freddie. And I took a picture of it, and here we are. So this is basically the second worst actually profile picture I've seen on LinkedIn. So it's very hard to overdo Freddie. But anyway, so this is what's strategically done of Freddie. He's a Viking. He's actually half Scottish, half Norwegian. And he wants to bring good energy to the tech companies he works with. But the thing is, who would you like to do business with? Freddie on the right side or Freddie on the left side? So the thing is, as a first impression, we want to create a professional impression. But then when you get to know you, of course, you can use a Viking helmet, for example, if you want to take Freddie. Anyway, so the thing we did, we changed his profile, and he works in the military. And we started to connect with tech people on LinkedIn. And he works with a lot of tech companies right now. And as you see here, his network isn't that big. He just connected with the relevant people, had the right kind of profile picture, and supporting strategy development, planning, and leadership development. So yeah, it's very powerful. The first impression is important.
Hi there, Adrian here, and this is a video from a Zoom session that we do. We do these Zoom sessions every Sunday, and we take questions and answers from the audience, some of our students, some of our members. We never know what questions are coming up, so I'm always excited to do these sessions, and I hope to see you at one of them. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and check out the other playlists that we have. Thank you, enjoy. So this man lives and breathes personal branding, and he's a real guru in this field. So it's a great pleasure we have him share today. And I'm hoping he'll also, I think he will, look at the macro, look at the slightly big picture. And we were just talking about ChatGPT. For anyone that hasn't used it, ChatGPT is like Google 20 years ago. ChatGPT is changing the way the internet works. And ChatGPT or Chat AI has the potential to wipe out Google. So much so Microsoft, I think, just invested 10 billion, another 10 billion in developing Chat AI. So with this kind of technology, it's wonderful to hear from someone at the forefront. All good? Okay, thank you all very much for being here. Christopher, where do we start?
Perfect. Thank you very much, Adrian. Thank you for an amazing introduction. And yeah, thank you for bringing me here to this mastermind. I'm looking forward to sharing everything you need to know about LinkedIn to utilize it inside of your career or inside of your coaching business. So the thing we're going to go through today, firstly, is I'm going to share some information and some knowledge about how to utilize LinkedIn, basically, and how to use this to the specific things, because LinkedIn it's a professional platform, but how do we actually use it in the right way? All right, so let's take your strategic use of LinkedIn to the next level. Firstly, why am I here? Of course, me and Adrian, we met in 2019. We were at a trainer program together with John Grinder. Beautiful time in Portugal, amazing weather and amazing people, and I really loved it. It was a perfect place to meet, actually. So that's the first thing. That's why I'm here in the beginning, because we met over there, and yeah, we have we've been connecting since then. You still need to come here to Oslo and visit, and I need to come to Australia, Adrian. So why am I here? My goal and my vision with what I'm doing, I want to help professionals and businesses use LinkedIn smarter, because since, like Adrian mentioned, since 2014, I myself have been using LinkedIn, both in my business and teaching other business owners and other people that want to improve their careers and get better results. And I've seen people getting so good results with very easy steps that I want to teach this to others, and it's helped me a lot as well and in my business, and this is what I want to give to others. And the thing is, when I'm holding online courses, live courses, or I'm out coaching business leaders, or I'm meeting people, networking, etc., 90 to 95% of the people that I meet still today in 2023 do not have a clear plan on how to strategically utilize LinkedIn and how to strategically use LinkedIn for their own goal. And this is a big problem. And this is what I want to change. And this is why I am here. And this is my vision. I want to help those 90 to 95% of people to use LinkedIn. And one of the things I like to do is to simplify stuff, make it as simple as possible and as pragmatic as possible as well. And that's what I'm trying to do with LinkedIn. So shortly about me, my name is Christopher. I'm from Sweden originally. I live in Norway right now, in Oslo, but it's almost the same country. It's in the same place in Scandinavia. And here in Scandinavia, I'm known as Mr. LinkedIn. And there is a reason why, of course, because I talk a lot about LinkedIn and I love LinkedIn as well. And I've helped over, now it's 8 years. For the past 8 years, I've helped thousands of professionals and hundreds of businesses with LinkedIn and how to use this. So I've been doing this, I usually say I've been doing it for almost too long now, like it's enough, but I still love it so much, and I'm just as inspired every day to help out people, and this is what I do on a day-to-day basis. And I'm also a B2B marketing strategist. Basically, I go into businesses, I help them with their strategic plan on how to get new clients as a business. And I also work with coaches on how to take higher prices, how to brand yourself, and how to basically get your knowledge into businesses. Because, for example, a private coaching client, you can get 10 hours for, let's say, $100 an hour. I'll say dollars now. But for a business, you can get 10 people and work with a whole team, and you can 10x that price usually. But there is a specific way to brand yourself to get into businesses, and LinkedIn is one of the biggest keys for this. So for the past, it says 7 years, but I haven't updated this presentation. For the past 8 years, I've helped thousands of professionals. And I'm also the founder of a company called Kurs, which is my last name now as well, as Adrian said. I almost changed my last name to it. And I take in consultants and I teach them my methodologies, and they go out into businesses and do the same as well. So we are 5 people in this company. And so that's shortly about me. My name is Christopher, and Bertilsson is my last name. It's a Swedish last name, but we can call me Christopher Linkedkurs for today. This is some of the companies I worked with in Scandinavia and also internationally. And so the most important part, what will you learn today? So the first thing is how to strategically think about LinkedIn and personal branding in B2B. How should you think around this? Why do you need to build a personal brand today? And how do you build a personal brand that attracts B2B clients also, or just clients in general? The second thing is the correct way to optimize your personal LinkedIn profile and why it matters and why this is the most important part on LinkedIn, at least as a foundation. And then how you can use LinkedIn to leverage your business network and how to build a valuable business network with the help of LinkedIn. And then also the secret about how to get good organic reach on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is actually one of the best platforms to get organic reach. And organic reach is the reach you get for free. So let's say if I post something on Facebook today, on a Facebook business profile. Like the views I get are very low. Compare that to LinkedIn right now. If you post in the right way on LinkedIn, you get a lot of views compared to Facebook, for example. And this is the thing with LinkedIn right now. It is in a very unique time. So you get a lot of views for free if you do it in the right way. And you can also push through and build an unique positioning on LinkedIn very easily, because there isn't actually a lot of people that are active on LinkedIn still. Active, and the way I mean active is they don't post and actually take place in the newsfeed, and I'm going to talk more about that. Firstly, introduction to LinkedIn. Everybody knows what kind of a platform it is, but I would like to introduce some key mindset points that you should take with you from this presentation, hopefully in this workshop. So why should we focus on LinkedIn now? The first thing is LinkedIn is increasing a lot in popularity, actually. So in the last year, LinkedIn has had the most exponential growth that it has ever had. So it's grown with over 100 million users. So that's pretty insane. They're getting close to 1 billion users. The second thing is LinkedIn is actually the most trustworthy of all social media platforms. If you ask business leaders, what platform do you go to update yourself on the newest information, or just what platform do you go to actually consume the content and actually believe the content that you see? And most say LinkedIn. The reason why is there isn't a lot of fake news on LinkedIn. There isn't a lot of trolling on LinkedIn. It's actually, like, compared to other platforms, it's almost nothing. And the reason why is because LinkedIn has a filtering in their algorithms where actually everything you do, your network sees this, and the people that you're connected to can see everything you're doing. So it's an extra filter, and it's actually, it works good. It's a good thing, because you always think, you think one time extra, or you should think one time extra before doing anything on LinkedIn, because your business network and your career people are going to see this. So basically, would you, a good example is in a networking event with all your professional people there, would you say the things you're doing in that kind of situation? And it's the same thing on LinkedIn. And this is basically the kind of social, the social place where LinkedIn is. It's where would you, your business network, basically. It's a business networking platform, of course. But if you went to a business networking event with your connection, what would you do there? And it's the same thing on LinkedIn. That's a very important mindset. That's why it's getting so much trust, and people trust this platform. And if you use it in the right way, you're going to get this trust as well. And it's also little competition, even right now in 2023. And the biggest reason, because I think the competition is so low, is because LinkedIn is the professional platform. People are scared of sharing on LinkedIn because they don't know how to do it and what kind of things you actually should share and how you strategically work with this. And the last point is it will grow a lot in the future as well. So it hasn't reached its full potential yet. And we're going to reach 1 billion users on LinkedIn as well soon. Yeah, and here we have an analytics like from Business Insider, where they asked their readers, well, like, which platform do you trust the most? And LinkedIn came up on top on everything, basically. So the key to LinkedIn, to using it in a strategic way, is your personal network. And the reason why is because back in 2003, when LinkedIn was created, they created this platform on a specific infrastructure. And this infrastructure is actually genius. So it's based on how you connect with people. And we're going to dive deep into this soon and do an exercise as well. But basically, the way the reason why they created LinkedIn was to connect professionals and make professionals more efficient. That was the reason why they created LinkedIn. And Reid Hoffman was the founder. He created it based on this vision. And still today, this is the vision. Basically, building your network. And LinkedIn is a network building platform. So we use LinkedIn to develop our personal network or your personal network. And that's where you're going to get the most out of the platform. Not to get followers to your company page, for example. This is the key to using LinkedIn optimally. And this is the key to the mindset of LinkedIn and how your strategic mindset should work as well. And yeah, so I would like to go through some of the typical myths that I meet when I'm out working with businesses, coaches, etc. So the first thing is the LinkedIn is only for finding a new job. It's basically a digital CV platform. And yes, this was the thing with LinkedIn 5 years ago. When I started out with LinkedIn the first couple of years, when I was doing the consulting and doing workshops, it was mostly a digital static CV platform. But today it's something totally different. And the reason why is because in 2017, something big happened. So a huge tech giant basically came to LinkedIn and said like, yeah, I want to buy your platform. And it's a very strategic move, actually. And this tech giant is called Microsoft. And they're doing the same in AI today as well, like we mentioned earlier. And since then, the platform has changed. So I was actually, that was when I was going all in on LinkedIn. I did I didn't know if it was going to work out. This is the thing, because you never know when Microsoft bought it up, maybe they're going to do the same thing they did with Skype, for example, which didn't work out that well. So I was a little bit scared, but they did the right thing. So they left the same designers, the same engineers, and they let them do their thing. And they actually changed LinkedIn. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2017, a lot of changes happened to LinkedIn. The design changed, the whole algorithms changed. And since then, year after year, LinkedIn has grown in popularity. And one of the biggest things they did was actually open up the algorithms and creating a place where you can share your content and get organic reach. So this is the thing, LinkedIn is so much more than a job searching platform. And actually only 20% of the platform is actively searching for a job. So it's a very small percentage. Most people are on LinkedIn to connect with other people, to create business opportunities and to learn and to get new insights. So this is a huge myth, and LinkedIn is so much more. And the second one is like I mentioned earlier, it is only about building a company page and to get followers. It's about your personal profile, and that's the difference with LinkedIn. The third thing is you cannot add people you don't know personally. So people basically have met in person. You can only add those on LinkedIn. You can add anybody on LinkedIn, actually, as long as it's relevant and you do it in a professional way, and you both can win-win, givers gain. That's an important thing. So when you add people, always add a personal relevant message, and then you can add them to your network. And then you can add anybody, actually. You can add huge influencers, you can add celebrities, you can add very influential business people, for example, as long as you do it in the right way. And I'm going to show some tricks today on how to do it in a smart way. And the fourth thing is I can't be personal on LinkedIn. And this is actually something that is changing now a lot. And the thing is, I don't know, maybe something happened during the corona pandemic, or when everybody was sitting at home. But in the last year, people are becoming more and more personal in business. And this is very fascinating. And this is the thing, you can be personal. We always do business with other people, right? As long as you share, I have a methodology here, but I say you can share personal stuff, but always have it in a business context. So that's an important thing. And selfies on LinkedIn get 3 times the engagement compared to other content types. That's insane. But that's the reason why we want to do business with other people. And we want to connect with people. And the people we connect with are usually the ones we do business with. So being personal on LinkedIn in the right way is actually very powerful. And that's one of the keys to succeeding with it right now and succeeding for the future as well. And then the last thing is I must have a LinkedIn premium account. So everything I teach, everything we're going to go through today, you can have a free LinkedIn account. and you can get very good results. I haven't had a premium account for years on LinkedIn, and I still get pretty good results. But maybe don't say that to Microsoft or LinkedIn, the last point. Let's keep that to ourselves. All right, so that's the 5 biggest myths I meet that people have on LinkedIn. Did anybody recognize themselves in any of these myths?
Yeah, when I first joined LinkedIn, I thought you had to know people. And I remember 10 years ago, I wanted to meet people, so I could add them to my LinkedIn. But you can add anyone, just add that note to make it relevant.
Exactly. But this is the thing, we live in a digital age now, and this is how we build our main connections and our main business opportunities. So LinkedIn worldwide, it's 880 plus million users now. We're getting closer to 1 billion users. And this is the thing, LinkedIn is one of the top 5 biggest social media platforms, top 6 maybe now, because we have some big platforms in China actually that are taking over. 80% wants to connect with other professionals and businesses. So we are in an open mindset when we use LinkedIn. We want to connect with other people and we want to connect with relevant businesses. But this is the thing, isn't that always a mindset we have in a way? But especially on LinkedIn. And the average size of the user's network is 400 connections plus. So that means the people that use LinkedIn are actually people who are more influential, who has a bigger business network. And yeah, it's good people to connect with. Connectors use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the most powerful social media platform for B2B companies. As a B2B marketing strategist and marketing expert, I always start the marketing strategy with setting down an organic LinkedIn strategy like we're doing right now, because LinkedIn organically is so powerful and you can get so many business opportunities through it. So it's the most powerful social media platform for B2B companies. And using the things we're going through today in an employer branding context, getting your employees to use LinkedIn, it's one of the most valuable marketing strategies you can do for a B2B business today, actually. It's very fascinating. All right, so this is how LinkedIn has built up its infrastructure of network building. You've probably seen this, but it's very important that you get this. I'm going to put on another layer and another understanding of this, the 3 degrees of connections on LinkedIn, basically. So 3 degrees of connections. So you have your 1st degree connections, you have your 2nd degree connections, and you have your 3rd degree connections. So your 1st degree of connections, it's the people you've connected with. Your connections, basically. Your 2nd degree connections, and this is the thing, there is a concept where you have 3 layers or 5 layers of network connections. So basically you can connect with anybody in the world with 3 to 8 connections. So if I, for example, want to take a coffee with Obama, the US, you all probably know who is. I don't need to say that. I can through this concept get to him. So I can ask let's say I ask my neighbor if he knows somebody in Washington, for example. And my neighbor has a cousin that lives somewhere in the US, and he connects me with this cousin, and this cousin has somebody in the workspace who has a friend in Washington, for example, and this person connects me to that person, which connects me to somebody in Washington, and this person in Washington knows Obama, for example, just for a general example, of course. This is the thing, with just a few connection points, you can reach to anybody globally. And on LinkedIn, we have 3 connection points, so it's even closer, so you can reach almost anybody on LinkedIn. So your 2nd degree connections is your connections. And this is where the value in network building on LinkedIn comes in. So if I add somebody to my network, I get access to their network. So let's say I add, me and Adrian are already connected, but I add Adrian, and he has 1,000 coaches in his network that I can help with LinkedIn and B2B branding to take higher prices, become more relevant in their network, in their business. I get access to that when we add each other. So I would actually like to do a kind of a quick exercise here with you guys. Do you have LinkedIn open on your computer? So let's do this. We can actually see how big of a reach we have and how much influence we have on LinkedIn right now. So if you guys go to the start page of LinkedIn, now it's in Scandinavian here, and you do an empty search, just do an empty search. And we'll click on people. And you click on connections and you choose your first degree connections and your second degree connections. And then show results. And here you're going to see your actual reach and how big your network is and how big the networking effect is in your business. And the thing here is, you can write.
Yeah, Christopher, excuse me, can you just repeat that? I just missed in getting it connected.
No worries, Jane.
People, I've got 3 listed in my second degree. All right, so if I see all people results, that's what you're saying.
You choose first degree and second degree, so you do an empty search. And we're going to people.
I did that. Yeah, I'm in people. I've only got 3 second degree connections which come up, and then it's got see all people results. I click on. Oh, now it's working. Okay.
How many did you get?
How do you know how many?
It's in the results. You get
about 1,160,000 results.
So that's your actual reach on LinkedIn, and this is the potential you can reach with using strategies in the right way.
Oh my God! Thank you. You clarified it. Wow. Yep.
No worries, Jay. So you actually have bigger reach than me. How big is your network on LinkedIn, Jay?
About 400 or 500, I think.
Then you have very influential people in your network.
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
Let's unlock that potential. So, okay. Do we have, let's see in the chat. Coach Jan, 1.6 million. Nice. Jenny says mind blowing. Nice. So Michelle asks, LinkedIn. So LinkedIn connections are a digital 6 degrees of separations, like the Kevin Bacon urban myth. That's what I was referring to. I just forgot what the name was and what exactly it was. So it's a digital version of that, yes, and they have shortened it down only to 3 degrees of connections. And this is fascinating because just by using 2 connection points, you can reach anybody globally on these 880 million people on LinkedIn. So it's even closer than that urban myth.
Yeah, just the other day, one of my coaching clients was after a headhunter. So I just opened up my LinkedIn. I went to first, second connections, headhunter. So this is can be very useful for searching for professionals.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's very powerful. Mind-blowing, yes. 1.78 million from Shudanshu. Hopefully I said that right. Just shut me down if I don't. All right. So this is, I just wanted to put this layer on top of this understanding of the 3 degrees of connections, because this is going to be very important when we lay out this LinkedIn personal branding strategy. You got to understand this. So the more people you add to your network, the larger reach you will have. And the more influential people you add to your network, the larger reach you will have as well. So I have closer to 30,000 connections and my reach was 880,000 something. Jay had 500 connections and he had over 1 million in his reach. So that means Jay has more influential people internationally. The thing is, my network is focused on Scandinavia. That's probably why in this case. But that's an example of how, when you find the right people, the right connectors as well, influential people, those can help you. And this is where later in your personal branding, cooperating with other influential people is important as well. So here is a model on how we should use LinkedIn strategically. It's more in a company context, but it's also important to know. So let's say you have a company with 10 employees. So if everybody has 400 connections, the reach in the first degree network is going to be 4,000. In the second degree network, it's going to be 1.6 million in potential reach on 10 employees. Compare that to a LinkedIn company page. If you have 1,000 followers, that means you put in some work into your company page. Your organic reach is only going to be 1,000. So the organic reach on company pages is a lot smaller than personal profiles. And that's why personal profiles are also powerful. When you put out content on LinkedIn, this is your potential, basically your first and your second degree network. That's your potential reach on LinkedIn. So that's very important. So quickly, LinkedIn Premium. What are the benefits of it? I just want to go through this so you understand this as well. The first thing is you can see everybody that has visited your profile. You can send emails to third degree contacts, but as long as you build your network and build your first degree network, you get more connections, right? And then you get more reach. You actually don't need this. You also get more search criteria. Adrian mentioned the search criteria a little bit. We're going to go through this in depth so you understand this and exactly how to put up good searches. So you get more search criteria, but usually the free version of LinkedIn, the search criteria you get there is good enough. And you also get unlimited amount of searches. And this is one of the biggest drawbacks of the free version of LinkedIn. You only get a certain amount of searches each month, and nobody knows exactly how many these searches are, but I say around 1,000 results. But do you need it? No, you don't need LinkedIn Premium to get good results. You can get very good results with the free version. But if you want to try it out, I recommend the Sales Navigator account. But then you also got to have these kind of strategies implemented first that we'll go through today, and then you can use a premium account. But like I said, I haven't used premium for a couple of years, and I get pretty good results with LinkedIn still. And this is the thing, everything we're going to go through, you just need the free account for that. So this is what we're going to go through today. So this is the 5-step methodology for your LinkedIn success. This is basically my own methodology that I've created after helping a lot of people. I tried to simplify it and give you the most, the most specific steps you need to basically utilize LinkedIn. So the first step is your focus. The second step is your LinkedIn profile. The third step is finding the right people using the right search criteria. The fourth is building your network and connecting with people. The fifth point is marketing and engagement. And the thing is, as a marketeer, I would love to just go straight to point number 5. If I could choose, I would just go straight to point number 5. But the thing is, on LinkedIn, you got to have all these things in place before you can start doing marketing and engagement. And that's also why a lot of people get stuck on LinkedIn. They don't understand, like, okay, what kind of things do I need? Do my profile look good enough? Do I have the right people in my network? How do I actually communicate on LinkedIn? Everybody gets stuck in this before they can start posting on LinkedIn and creating this massive organic reach and basically creating a huge competitive edge. So you got to have all these pieces in place first, and that's the key. And
I imagine a lot of coaches struggle with the first one, their focus, their niche. So if they haven't solidified or made their niche certain, then they go on and make all this contact, but they haven't got the first one figured out, your focus.
Yes, that's true. Very true. And it's a typical problem we meet. And I think, yeah, we're going to go through that. It's very true, Adrian. Thanks for that input. So your focus, what is the most important things you got to have in place to focus in and have a clear, the thing is, there is two parts of creating your own niche. The first one is, who are you, of course, and what do you stand for? What kind of people do you want to work with? And the second part is, what's your expertise and what kind of people can you help the most? So for example, in my case, I work mostly with as a consultant now, out into the marketplace. I work as a B2B marketing strategist because I know B2B companies that want to get higher paid clients. I can help them a lot. I know how to build personal branding and how to brand all their people inside of their company. And I also like to work with B2B companies because they got to be very competitive and have their the newest technology implemented, etc. So I know I can help them the most. So what kind of people do you want to work with, and what kind of people can you help the most? And when it comes to businesses, think about what kind of businesses can you help. Is it local businesses, or is it consulting businesses? Is it medical, inside of the medical field? Or it could be businesses and business leaders in general as well. And then you start thinking about what are their day-to-day problems. What do they actually go through? What holds them back? What gets them stuck in their day-to-day? And also mapping out their vision. What do they want to get out of what they're doing? And those two parts, if you get those two parts, and the thing is, if you're a coach and you do a lot of coaching, you usually work through those parts, right? So you have a very clear understanding of that. But I recommend writing it down, and that's what you're going to use inside of your own messaging. So your own messaging is based on your clients' pains and visions. And it's also based on your unique expertise and what you know. So you got to have all these two parts inside of your own personal branding strategy. And that's basically the key to succeeding with personal branding. It's understanding your audience and getting that audience, basically understanding their mindset so well that you speak out the problems that they have in a clearer way than they themselves would do. And then you automatically become an authority in their eyes, or when they listen to you, or when they engage with your content. So that's the biggest thing. You should crystallize your focus so clearly. So, and it's kind of a cheat code to be a coach, actually, because you work so closely with your clients, you understand their problems better than themselves. So you can get all those notes from your coaching or all that understanding, just getting it down in a clear process. That's the most powerful way to get your focus. But then you got to think about, what is your goal with LinkedIn? Is it more connections? What kind of connections? Do you want to sell more? Who do you want to sell to? Do you want to create thought leadership? And this is the thing, when you build a powerful personal brand and you speak about the problems your client have in a clear way, in your own unique way, with the right organic reach, then you automatically become a thought leader in their eyes and you create authority. You want to build your network. Also, you can connect with other professionals in your field, some experts or influencers or people who you like the content. You can, of course, connect with them. You can create joint ventures. You can create partnerships, etc. You don't just need to get new clients with LinkedIn. You can do a lot of other things as well. So what is your goal with LinkedIn? What do you want to get out of LinkedIn? And of course, write it down and try to clarify it, because if you don't write it down and clarify it, it usually just lays around, and it's such a huge potential. So the success factors with LinkedIn, everything goes back to networking. We know this. And the key to building a successful network is that we give value before we ask for anything. For example, if we have a clear customer profile and we know what kind of issues they have and problems they have, first, before we book in a meeting, for example, we talk about the problem, and maybe we even give them a solution to their problem, to one of their problems. And when they get value and they feel like, wow, this is so good, Christopher gave me a tip on how to, let's say how to build a powerful LinkedIn profile, for example. When you give value to somebody, they're going to remember you, and they're going to want when you speak with them or when you connect with them, they want to give something back. So that's very important. It's about win-win relationships all the way. And consistency is also a big key to succeeding with LinkedIn. The people that I work with that succeeds the best are the ones who works usually for years, but also think about 6 months ahead. At least let's start off with 6 months ahead. So in 6 months, if you every week add 50 connections on LinkedIn, for example, or let's say 10 connections a week, 10 connections a week, that's over a 6 month period. That's going to be many, many thousands in more potential reach for you. So this is the thing, always consistently showing up on LinkedIn, adding connections, putting out content, engaging with other people, commenting. It's so valuable. And over a longer period of time, it's going to give more back. It's basically like investment. After Warren Buffett became a billionaire, when was it? After when he was 60, I think. Everything he built up came to a point where it grew exponentially. And it's the same thing on LinkedIn. Of course, it's not going to take 50 years, but at least think 3 months ahead, 6 months ahead, maybe years ahead as well. And of course, the last point is you must have focus on who you're going to target on LinkedIn. This is what we talked about. But an easy way to find a target market on LinkedIn is first, what kind of what is the professional niche you're going after? Accounting, for example. The second part is who inside of the company do you need to reach? So let's say I want to go to a tech B2B company here in Oslo. All right, who do I need to reach inside of this company? Of course, or in my case, I need to go through the marketing department or the sales department. And who are the most relevant people in this? The sales director or the marketing director? The best thing is, of course, if they only have a sales director and don't have a marketing director, because then I can help a lot. But those are the people I need to go into the businesses I want to work with. And you need to think the same. And usually when you do mindset work, when you do coaching, HR is a good place to start, or you go straight to the top to the CEOs if you want to work on the highest level. So who inside of the company is the most relevant person for you to connect with, to create coaching engagements? Or if you have a lot of clients, who do you usually work with? So the first one is the niche. Let's say I want to go after IT companies or tech companies, like I said. The second one is who inside of the company. And then the third one is the geographical location, basically. So if I want to create business opportunities this week here in Oslo, I put in Oslo, Norway, and I put in IT companies, and I put in sales directors, for example. And I can send out messages and connect with these people. And in the right way, I can book in some meetings for this week to get business opportunities, for example. So if you have those 3 criteria, you can create a very clear focus on who you need to reach on LinkedIn. So that's kind of a cheat code, but the other part is also very important, but it's more long-term. So the second step is your LinkedIn profile. So your LinkedIn profile is going to be the first impression you create on LinkedIn. And the same way, when we're out networking or we're meeting people, the first impression we make, it's usually very important. Of course, you can change it afterwards, but it's the same thing on LinkedIn. So why wouldn't we create as good of an impression as possible when we have the opportunity? So I call this optimizing your personal profile. So the goal here is to structure your profile for maximum interest, lead generation, or engagement. So I have a tip. You actually have a functionality on LinkedIn where you update your network when you change your profile. So I recommend to remove this or deactivate it, because you've probably seen somebody who changes job a couple of times, multiple times in one day. It's because they're changing their profile and they haven't turned this off. So turn that off before we continue on updating your profile. So when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, you have I call it 20% that gives you the Pareto's principle of your profile. So basically the 20% that gives you 80% of the results. And it's your profile picture, your background picture, your headline, and also the ones you have chosen to show at the top. I don't remember the English word now, but this part of your profile. And then you have your about section, your experiences, and this, of course, your education, your certifications, and your competencies. So this is all the parts usually you need to have in place. We can start off with, let's see here.
Christopher, there's a question in the chat window there. One of the wonderful gentlemen here, he's a professional coach. He's had his own business and runs his own business 20, 30 plus years. And he also has a profession. So what about people that have like multiple identities?
See, it's a very common question, actually. And it's an important question as well. I think it's important to get clarity on this. So the thing is, on LinkedIn, you are your personal brand. So let's say, I can give an example. I also go in as an investor in companies and I become a part of companies in exchange for my competency. It's one of the ways you can structure your coaching business as well for long-term growth. So when I have multiple companies that I work with on LinkedIn, the common thread or the common red thread is me and who I am. So you can have multiple companies, you can invest in multiple companies, you can have even multiple things you do. The way you do it is your own personal content as is who you are. So your own expertise. And for example, I can put out a content piece this week. Yeah, I'm holding this consulting engagement with this company. But when you go to your profile in your experiences, you have all the different other companies that I work with. So that's the common thread in everything you're doing. So if you have, multiple personalities in a way, multiple companies you work with, you find the red thread and what you stand for. And when you post, for example, and let's say, so basically that's the common way to do it, or the general strategy to do it. But say also you have different focuses on your profile. So I call it different seasons in your personal branding strategy. So let's say this season, I want to create new client opportunities. This is actually what I'm doing right now for me. It's already, so then I post a lot of content about specific problems that my clients are having and how to solve this in a B2B company. And also when it comes back to my general personal branding strategy, that's basically what I talk about. And basically my one of my expertises is to help B2B companies. So it's still relevant to what I'm doing and it works into my own unique positioning. So that's how I think around that. So you gotta, in a way, to get clarity on that. What is your personal brand? What do you want to talk about? What is your expertise? And then you talk about that. And if you have different companies, you can also get that into your content in a way as well. So that's how you do it. So the general strategy is your own personal brand, and everything under that is going to be the companies. The most important thing to focus on LinkedIn is your own personal brand. So you actually don't post. So for me, for Linked Kurs is one of my companies, my main company. I don't post as Linked Kurs. I post as Christopher. And now Christopher is out holding a workshop. Christopher wants to share his expertise on B2B strategy, for example. Or Christopher Maybe Christopher, even, yeah, like if we're doing a trainers program in Portugal, for example, I met Adrian here and I want to post that. Yeah, I can do that as well. So that's how you should think around it. The multiple personalities is your companies, and yeah, the personality that keeps everything together is you. Yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Yes, and for coaches, right? If you're pursuing coaching excellence and you also, work in a job, I'm sure your employers won't mind if you frame it the right way. Like if you're pursuing excellence and is your employer really going to see your LinkedIn? But even if the employer does see your LinkedIn, it's like, yeah, I'm pursuing excellence. I'm learning this coaching. And one other question that was there from Lizzie was, how do you become as strong as your competitors?
Yeah, that's a interesting question. But I want to go back a little, because the thing you mentioned there is also very important. I didn't think that much about that, Adrian. So basically, when you have a job right now, and if you, yeah, like you said, if you pursue excellence and you post that you're doing coaching, that you're learning, that you're in an engaging mastermind where you learn new stuff, of course, post this on LinkedIn. If your employee doesn't like that, they don't understand. Like, this is also a typical problem that I meet a lot, is employees don't want their people to be on LinkedIn. It's not very typical now, but in 4 or 5 years ago, it was very typical. And it comes from a scarcity mindset. And if you tell your employee, if they see your LinkedIn, usually they don't, but if they see it and they're like, oh, why are you active on LinkedIn? And you're like, I'm building my personal brand, and it helps your company as well, because they can see on your profile that you work there. So it's still a win-win situation. But if you have a job right now, I would go out and post, basically build a personal brand on LinkedIn, and still post about coaching, what you're learning, what kind of people you're meeting, what new insights you get. And that's very good. It's good for the company as well. So I would do that. Absolutely. Abundance mindset. Yes, Adrian.
And then with your competitors, you don't have to be stronger than your competitors, because your competitors aren't you. You're unique. And no one else can replace your uniqueness, your past, your history, and your experiences. So just be the best you can be.
Yeah, that's true. And also being smarter than your competitors, using LinkedIn, for example, if they don't use it. And yeah, of course. And that's true. You don't need to compete with your competitors in a way, because exactly like you said, Adrian, you're unique. And this is why I call it your unique positioning. I actually have it on my board over there. Who you are is like is the really unique thing inside of what you're doing. So you got to get that in, and building like your personal brand about who you are. Like, your competitors can't compete with that. And that's the thing also with AI, for example. Like, if an AI can't take over who you are, like, say, use your own uniqueness, just like you said, Adrian. I'm just building upon what you said, also. Mixing it in. So, and also it's about, of course, being more strategic than them. You can be smarter using LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn because LinkedIn, you can go up against bigger companies, for example, and you can just build a more strategic network than what they're doing and sharing more strategic content, and you can still win over them. But in general, yeah, build your personal brand and find your own uniqueness and build upon them, and then you're actually going to be stronger than your competitors, because there's nobody who's competing with you. So that's all right. Let's see. We have another question as well. So Jon asks, I don't know how to turn off the notifications so others won't be updated when I change my info. Can it be explained again? Yeah, let's see. So you go into your profile here on the right, you're going to show profile and you scroll down to your experiences. You click the pen here and you click the pen here. And this got to be turned off, or it could be in the bottom like this. Okay. So the first part of your profile is what I call, so we created a formula for this. It's your headline. So basically the typical thing we have on LinkedIn is that we have your job title in company. So basically I could say, yeah, CEO in LinkedIn kurs, and I don't have anything else than this. It's very boring and it doesn't really stand out. And this is where we create your uniqueness. Instead, I explain what I do and what I help out with. And this already creates interest. I can show you on LinkedIn here. It creates interest in the news feed already here. So here we have Tom, a friend of mine. We make B2B, we make your B2B business famous. So he's helping B2B businesses with podcasting actually. And creating podcasts. So it's like, oh, you make B2B businesses famous. That's maybe something I need. Or it creates like an interest and then in a specific niche. And this is something that B2B, for example, they have very specific niches. So it's something he knows his market and his potential clients needs. And it creates an interest. So that's very good. And then we have something else. So you see, use this in a strategic way. I can show what I have on mine. Helping professionals master LinkedIn for more business opportunities. It creates an interest. It's a hook right there. Influencer, keynote speaker, and entrepreneur. So use your headline to speak about what you can help out with to stand out. So here we have some examples. I gave you some examples already, some really good ones. So here we have Johnny Dahl, Vice President at Caribbean AS, a big consulting firm here in Oslo, assists clients in realizing business benefits. You don't need anything else than that. Just something that stands out and creates a little bit of interest. And the thing is, when you add people on LinkedIn as well, it's going to show up here in your connection request. It's going to show up in a news feed. It's going to show up when you send a message. It's going to show up everywhere on LinkedIn. So use that strategically. The second part is using a professional picture. So you probably heard this before, but please double check your profile picture, because I have almost every time I'm holding a workshop or consulting engagement or whatever, there's always people who say like, yeah, I know this, Christopher. Like, I know this. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, can I see your profile picture? And usually it's not as good as possible. And I think I've written this in the Scandinavian way. Sorry for that. So basically, have a picture. When you use a picture, it makes you more visible, and you will get more visitors. Your picture must fit into a professional context. Don't be formal or too silly. This is the thing. Find a balance for you. Who do you want to be? Of course, if you're a DJ, for example, and you want a LinkedIn picture, you can use a very, a picture that is unique to your profession. Or if you're a lawyer, for example, you could use another type of picture. But if you're a lawyer who likes to show off his or her personality and you like colors, you can also use that, because that makes you stand out. And that's the key. Stand out and be unique. All right. One more thing with your profile picture as well is when you click on your profile here, double check, click in here and check that you open it up for everybody, even people outside of LinkedIn. Because if you only have your profile picture for first degree connections, if somebody outside of your network visits your profile, it's not going to show up. It's going to look like you don't have a profile picture. And this is the worst thing you can do on LinkedIn, actually. So check this, that it's open, and check that you have a good profile picture as well. And here we have an example of what not to do. And this is my dear friend, Freddie. Freddie was with us yesterday as well. He works high up in the military here in Norway. He does some of the biggest project they're doing where they're buying things. So he came to me, and the thing Freddie wanted to do was, he had a job in the military, and he wanted to go out and do consulting as well, and actually help tech companies with military strategy. And he came to me and he said, Chris, so what's your best advice on how to start my consulting business? And I said, Freddie, let's look on your LinkedIn profile first. And he showed this, and I looked at it, and I looked at him, and I looked back at it. And the first thing I said, Freddie, I got it. I have to be able to use this in my courses and workshop, because this is too good to be true, Freddie. And I took a picture of it, and here we are. So this is basically the second worst, actually, profile picture I've seen on LinkedIn. So it's very hard to overdo Freddie. But anyway, so this is what's strategically done of Freddie. He's a Viking. He's actually half Scottish, half Norwegian. And he wants to bring good energy to the tech companies he works with. But the thing is, who would you like to do business with? Freddie on the right side or Freddie on the left side? So the thing is, as a first impression, we want to create a professional impression. But then when you get to know you, of course, you can use a Viking helmet, for example, if you want to have Freddie. Anyway, so the thing we did, we changed his profile, and he works in the military. And we started to connect with tech people on LinkedIn. And he works with a lot of tech companies right now. And as you see here, his network isn't that big. He just connected with the relevant people, had the right kind of profile picture, and supporting strategy development, planning, and leadership development. So yeah, it's very powerful. The first impression is important. Don't do as Freddie. Luckily, yeah, he was blessed with me as a friend. Thank you, Jan, for that. I appreciate that. So write and complete summary. The next step is to write a summary, and here we develop on what you promised in your headline. Also, the thing you can use here is a referral from an earlier customer or somebody you're working with. This is the most powerful thing you can use in marketing. It's what other customers says about you, or social proof. So use that. You can link to your website or your blog. You can use special symbols to showcase bullets in your text. And the thing I'm talking about is emojis. So there's actually a web page called, you've probably seen it, but I'll just mention it, Emojipedia. And here you have all the different emojis, and you can use them. And basically, in business, the objects place is a good place to start. You can use these of course, check marks, for example. Check mark. This is a very good one to use in business. So you don't need to go out and use a lot of hearts, but use emojis to make the text more visual and make it stand out more. And then, so I can show where to change this on your profile as well. Basically, you go from here, down here. Here you have a summary. If you don't have it, you add it here. Also, one more thing is your background picture. I would use something that is relevant to what you're doing. So in my case, I have, this is from Stockholm, actually, the Cafe Opera in Stockholm. It's a beautiful place. And I'm speaking. So the way to create massive authority as well is to show yourself speaking on a stage. It's just, it has social proof, it has authority, it has everything you want to have in a good package. So I use that strategically, and I recommend most coaches that I work with to use that as well. It's a very good way to easily build authority. And here I thought about thought leadership, build a unique position about around yourself and attract your dream clients in Swedish. So yeah, use a good background picture and use something that's relevant to what you're doing and write something on it. Design it so it stands out. And the way to stand out, of course, is to show yourself on stage. Is a very good way. Okay. And then, of course, also use a call to action on your profile. This is important. So use a clear next step. So when people visit your profile, think about it like a landing page. And a landing page is basically a page that has one goal, and is to convert the visitors. Think about your LinkedIn profile in a way like this as well. So you want to convert your visitors to the next step. And what is the next step? This is the thing, like with social media in general, you always got to give a next step. Always give like a call to action, because people are like, you're surfing on LinkedIn, you're reading about a good post about business development. Suddenly something happens, you look back, and in the next moment you're sitting on TikTok and you're watching TikTok and you're forgetting about the business post because there wasn't a clear call to action. So think about always giving a clear next step. What is it? Is it calling you? Is it visiting your website, booking a calendar link, booking in a call with you? What is the next step? Put in the next step so people easily can get in contact with you if they're interested. We want to decrease friction as much as possible. This is also one key with social media and B2B. Decrease the friction so it's easy to get in contact with you, because people, sometimes they will, if you build the right kind of positioning, the right brand, they will call you, find your number. They want to get in contact with you, but usually it's not going to be like that. You're going to make it as easy as possible for them to take the next step, because suddenly something else happens, something else grabs your attention and you forget about it. Links to your website, medias, pictures, videos, and also add relevant media. If you have PR, for example, PR is very powerful to add to your LinkedIn profile. So add that. Okay. Also, you have this part, which is the thing you have chosen on your profile. I'm actually going to change my language to English, so I'll speak in the right. So I'm not speaking in Scandinavian here. Featured, yeah, that's the word. So featured, the thing I would use here, for example, for me, I have a link to a strategic funnel that I use. It's kind of a B2B funnel. It's very good. Like this is the ones that works the best. I have a video to a client that I work with. It's like one of the most well-known public speaking coaches. He works with business leaders here in Scandinavia. I've had it for 2 years and it still works just as good. And I also have a picture to a big event that I did. And this is my background picture as well. So the thing you can do here is put up the most relevant content. And here we also have another good testimonial. It's 5 years ago, but the thing it does for me is it shows that I've been doing this for a very long time. So it builds very good authority, actually. And here's the example of the mini webinar that I have, 14 minutes, and here I have even more testimonials. Yeah. So basically, I use the featured sections for testimonials, authority, and I don't have PR links here. I have a lot of articles written about me as well, but I don't use that because my goal here is to convert them, to get them to my mini webinar, to book in a call with me here. And here they can book it into my calendar. It's pretty, yeah, I don't have many times left, but anyways. So you can use the featured section on your profile for that. So that's the general things I would like to go through. We can open up for some questions for the LinkedIn profile part, or if you have any things you want to add.
If I could just add, Chris, so you have your call to action. You generally take people to one of your videos where they can watch you, see you're an expert, and then click and get your Calendly link. Calendly works good in China as well. What I want to do with my people is I want to get them booking a Calendly call with me as soon as possible. So for me, I might use my LinkedIn, but I want people to go to Calendly and book a session with me. Get people on the telephone so they can actually talk with you. So questions.
I think in the chat there is a question from
ANS, right? Well, I might think the left still works since the British royal family has a rebel who can do Netflix and write bestsellers. It's funny.
That was a nice comment there. And she was asking before about tips for content creation. One thing you got to be aware for content creation now is Christopher and I were chatting about at the start. When it comes to content creation, Chat GP or Chat AI, artificial intelligence can now write content really quick. I know some people who over the last 5 years, they've written these wonderful big blogs and they used to write blog content. But I think for content creation, long blogs are getting shorter and shorter. And now if Chat GP, anyone can write articles about NLP and get the basics just from using Chat GP. In my speciality, and I'm sure it'll be the same with Christopher, for most niches though, we can use Google and use Chat GP or now use Chat GP or Chat AI to make us look like an expert. But if you actually look deeper, Chat AI doesn't go into depth. It only scratches the surface. If you use Chat GP to talk about NLP, it'll only be surface level NLP. It doesn't actually work because it misses out the fine details. So if you're in a niche and using Chat GP and stuff, it only goes a little bit deep, but that's enough to use content creation. So I'm thinking that Chat GP, Chat AI, I think that'll change content creation, or at least has the possibility. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, it's gonna like for me, it's like I like it because I don't like writing content. I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm not a writer. I like to speak. I like to present. I like to record videos, for example, but I don't like to write. So in my client work and in my business, it has revolutionized the way I work because I don't need to think about the content creation part and the dull admin writing part. I have something that can do it for me. So I think in that way, it's going to make us more creative and make us less, because it has already saved me, like at least in the last month, a couple of days of work, of time that I would sit and write, that I don't need to do anymore. So of course you get the general, but the thing is, you get the general content. It depends on how good it's going to get, because if you can get specific content as well, then it's super powerful. And I was surprised about how good it actually is. In the ending of 2022, I didn't expect to get a solution that would be able to write whatever I want. It's like a super assistant that is following you all the time, that knows the whole internet basically, generally, but you can use general questions and use the right questions from a general knowledge space to get very specific things as well. So I think it's going to change up, and it's a good thing for me, at least, because I've learned about it now. I've worked on it because I know it's comparable to the computer. It makes you more efficient, and it's going to make us more efficient. It's like a technological revolution like that. So yeah, it's very fascinating. And right now, what I see content-wise and what I see in the marketing space is written content. Like you said, Adrian, it's going to disappear. It's not really going to disappear. The thing they've tried doing is watermarking the AI content. So actually search engines can find out if it's AI or not. So maybe in the future, we're going to have some kind of solution where we can check content and see if it's AI written or not, kind of like a cheat test. But if the AI gets good enough, like it's going to easily be able to go around that. So the way for...
I love the idea of using ChatGPT. If you guys are coaching someone on procrastination, or you're coaching a lot of business leaders on procrastination, you could use ChatGPT, even Google for that matter. You could use Chat AI to write you an article, or write the five key points on procrastination. You could keep 3 of them for your LinkedIn content piece, but then you could shoot a little video talking about it. So you got a 1-2 minute video, you talking, blah, 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 but underneath you can have the text written by the computer. Put that on your LinkedIn, so they got a video and the text.
Yeah, video is, I was just going to say that, Adrian. Video is the key for the future. So get good at recording yourself on video. The way I did it back in the days, or in the early days, I recorded myself with a phone for 30 days, every day. The thing you do is you just put on the selfie camera, you click record, and talk about your day. Nothing else. Just do that for 30 days, and then you're going to be good. You're going to be able to film yourself on video if you're unsure on how to do video. That's the best way to do it. And yeah, get good at talking on video, get good at recording yourself, because it's very hard to have an AI solution recreate yourself, your own sense of humor, who you are, your own uniqueness, basically. So that's how to future-proof yourself, become more of yourself.
What about a LinkedIn marketing strategy of making you told me this a couple of years ago, because before the other people, I think it's great. What about a content creation strategy of filming yourself on camera, 1-2 minute videos, just talking about your area of expertise each week, or making 10 in one day and releasing them over the following 10 weeks?
That's really good. The thing is, though, it's got to be snappy. It's got to be like when you create, like, the best way to create videos. Yeah, that's good. I would do 1 minute. 1 minute, snappy, quick things, 90 seconds, because LinkedIn is getting there as well. People's attention spans are decreasing. Like, everything is becoming, like, TikTok changed that a lot. Like how quick we basically consume content, how quick we want things. Luckily, we're here together now. We're focused. We have a long session together. This is really good. But when it comes to the newsfeed, to push through, I would do smaller, shorter videos. Always text the video, like you said, Adrian, to show the text. And start off with a question and then answer that question. Or start off with an open loop. And always use open looping to make people watch more. And then you could even leave it open, or you close it off in the end.
Open loop, for those that don't know, is like a question or a start of a story, and people are like wanting a closure. So people are staying to the end of the video to get the closure for the question or the story.
Yeah.
For my coaches in Shanghai, you can use our video guy, Johnny Ray, sometimes. For our coaches, we've got a video editor guy that can snip the ends and do a little video work for you.
Yeah, if you have a video editing guy, like, use that. Like, yeah, it's really good. Okay, so that's the LinkedIn profile part. Now we're going to use the search functionalities on LinkedIn. We're going to find the right people we need in our network to create the impact we want to have. So there's actually 3 tactics on LinkedIn. So there's advanced search, there's groups, and there's companies. So I'm going to show how to use advanced search. So you basically do the empty search again. You click on people here, and then you go to all filters. And this is where the magic is, all filters. This search functionality here, there's no other social media that has that. So it's super powerful. So you choose the second degree connections, because then you always have a connection in common. You choose your geographical location. So where do I want to go? Let's say, I want to do Stockholm. And then the last step is the title. So I go after sales director. Boom. So I search for sales directors in Stockholm. So here we go. 894 people that I can go to, I can talk to, and potentially I can sell to, basically, or get as clients. So 894 results. Then I can do one step further. I can dig even further, and I can go into IT services and IT consulting, for example. That's a very good niche, right? 174 results. So I would like you to do an exercise now. Do this and try it out by yourself. So just with these specific tips, you can find your ideal clients and the ideal people you want to connect with.
I went for CEOs in my hometown. I got 216 second connections.
Could you share it?
Yeah. So people, second connection, towns or Queensland. I could search differently. I write CEO here.
Yeah, you do the keywords. The thing is, when you do that, it looks through the whole profile. So it could actually be some people that just have that keyword in their profile without actually being a CEO.
Yes. So right here, I could type CEO instead.
Yeah. So then it looks only on the title field in the profile. Try removing that up there as well.
Keyword.
So there's 77 actually that are CEOs.
Yeah, that's better. CEO board, CEO, CEO RD, CEO.
You should connect with all this, Adrian.
And with some of these CEOs, as a coach, with the CEO, I could offer to coach one of his team for free.
Or coach him.
Completely.
Coach him or her.
Coach him or her, or coach one of their team. Complimentary coach. Meet him, complimentary coach, one of his team. Happy days, prove your results, go in, offer to coach more of the team. So the business to business, coaching a person who represents a business, one client like that could open up a coach to 5-10 coaching sessions a week if you wanted to.
Easy. That's the thing, and that's the power of LinkedIn. Like, you could connect with one of these and do exactly that, or you could connect with 77, and this could be just this search could be like a lifetime of business opportunities.
Or I could get very, very, very narrow and target 2 CFOs and say, hi, I was just working with the CFO of a major multinational corporation in Shanghai. I actually live in Townsville, and I see that you're a CFO. Is there any way we could meet for a coffee? My shout, of course. I'd love to pick your brain about being a CFO.
Yeah. Or you could just say, I would love to meet a coffee and get to know you. Like, and talk, professional or talk about professional things or professional experiences. It can even be more personal like that. And it works really well. All right. Do we have any questions on searches or the things we went through?
I don't think so. Just got to keep an eye on the time, getting pretty close.
Oh. Yes, time goes quick.
When
Right,
you're-
so you can also search in groups and companies, but I would like to give you one tactic today, actually, when it comes to search, and it's this one. All right, so connecting and networking. This is basically where when you have that search, how do you connect with these people and what should you do? So, of course, we add the people you need to reach your business goals or your whatever you want to accomplish in your life when it comes to business. You want to connect with these people. Like the search we had with Adrian, for example, we had 77 results. It's a lifetime of business opportunities. So the key here is to firstly connect with these people and always try to use a personal and customized message. So for example, here, Thomas, I want to connect with Thomas. When I click connect, you get two choices. Always use add a note. And here I say, hey, Thomas, I just saw your profile here on
I thought you might
LinkedIn.
be interested in a crypto investment.
Do you want to invest in my crypto? No, so that's the biggest mistake you can do, actually. It's selling in the first message. Never sell here. The key here is to create a connection. And it's comparable to when you have a business networking event. Do you want to be that guy that hands out their business card to everybody and like, oh, do you want coaching? Do you want coaching? Do you want coaching? Or do you want to be the person who connects with people, creates long-term relationships, win-win relationships, and then creates business opportunities for a lifetime? That's the difference between those two. So I just saw your profile here on LinkedIn. Would love to connect. You could also say, yeah, the thing you're doing is very interesting. Or I saw, let's see, I'll get something good. Your company is, or what you do at, what's the company? Yeah, the company name, basically. Let's see. All right, let's do, let me copy this. Let's go into his company and actually see what he does. So I'll do a little bit of research here. NetGain AB. Let's see. And we can go into their LinkedIn profile here. Seems like they're working with AI, actually. AI. They're doing some automation, automating business processes and services. You can even go deeper. You could also like and comment on one of the posts of their company profile, or you can go into his posts as well to see what he's doing. He reposted something. He posted something a month ago, so I could actually celebrate this. The thing is, then you get up on his notifications, then you become even more relevant. And you can mention this in the message as well. And this creates even more relevancy and an even greater context for you to connecting together. So I could, what you do at NetGain is really inspiring. Inspiring, and congrats with a new teammate. I think it was that. Would love to connect and share our network here. This is the key. Like this, the thing I did here, of course, I personalized the message with the first name and with on, okay. I give a context here. This is one context. So the greater our context is, the more connection you're going to create. I just saw your profile here on LinkedIn. It's kind of a general context. What you do at NetGain is really inspiring. I could even write, if it is, I haven't with AI, for example. I haven't really researched this in depth. It said AI, but I could research this even more. I can't do it much longer here because we don't have enough time together. What you do at NetGain is really inspiring, and congrats with a new teammates. I showed that I've looked into his posts and I engaged with that post as well. So this is the context. This is a pretty deep context, actually. It's a good context. If everything is right, I can double check this, of course. Would love to connect and share our network here. So the thing I do here is I create a win-win situation. So I do the first step is personalization, the name. The second is the context. And the third is the win-win. So I want to share our network. So I'm sharing my network with him already. So I'm giving value as a way of connecting. And this is the key. And this is the best way to do it on LinkedIn. It's always start off with sharing your network. And then afterwards, we can do the call to actions, the social selling, etc. So this is a really good message. This is an example on how to do it. I have to send it in Swedish because we're both Swedish, but that's the English version. All right. Any questions around connecting and networking? Looks like we're up to, let's see. Coach Jan, love the connection concept. Thank you. Lois asks how to post a calendar link into the LinkedIn directly. So a solution that you can use there is called Calendly. It can connect to your Google Calendar or your Outlook, and then you get a link that you can post into LinkedIn. So you have to use a third-party tool to get bookings. Great approach, also genuine. Thank you. Yeah, comment is really good. Actually, a comment is because then you come up on notification, you become ultra relevant to the person. And also people love getting comments on their posts. So we can use this. Like the most powerful CEOs globally, they love getting engagement on their post. We're all humans, right? Everybody likes to get engagement. Greg says, no, have something to say. What do you mean, Greg?
No, I just have something I want to add to your talk tonight. I don't know I don't know if we're running out of time. I just mentioned that.
Just add it. If you, yeah,
I have the floor.
Yeah, go for it, Greg.
Well, you can finish and then I can do it at the end. It's fine. It's not relevant to what you're talking about exactly right now.
Okay. All right, let's
okay?
finish it.
I mean, I can say now or later. It's all right. I just wanted to fit it in. I thought it would be helpful to everyone.
Then do it. Just
okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is Greg. Thank you for your speech and everything you've mentioned today. It's very good. I'll just first say what my takeaway is so far of what you've said, and let you know a little bit about what I think is very much related to what you're talking about. However, it's at a different level. What I see you talking about is you're looking at the identity, our personal identity on LinkedIn, on this platform. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to add to everyone, I want to take it to another level, is that I guess first, I don't know this audience. I don't know everyone's background. What we have experienced in the past maybe 10, 20, 30 years with the internet is called Web 1 to Web 2 to Web 3. We are now, is everyone familiar with these terms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach Jan says no.
Okay, I will be brief. This is what I'm talking about. It's maybe a little bit of homework for everyone. if you're so interested. Web 1, very quickly, was just the beginning of the internet. We could go build websites and everything. Web 2 was Facebook and LinkedIn and WeChat, where you can have social media. Our identities were siloed kind of in this Web 2, and now we're at like 2.5 to this 3, which is what I want to talk about. My point is identity. What is our personal identity on the internet? This Web 2.5 to 3 can be an example of such as LinkedIn. But what's really going on right now is there's two issues related to this. We're moving from like your identity is within the silo of LinkedIn, right? It's in the silo of Facebook. That's changing because people want privacy and they want security and they want to own their own data, their own personal space on the web. So where we are right now is that there's a move to the blockchain, which the blockchain is maybe all the cryptocurrency and everything you look about the, I don't know what this audience, but I just want to let everyone know that your identity on the internet is not just LinkedIn, or it's a big part of it, and that's what you're talking about. But I just wanted to take a step to let everyone know that your identity also is in a much greater, LinkedIn's a part of it, let's say, a big part of it. So it's a little bit off topic, but related in our identity on the web.
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.